More and more women are realizing that working full-time to pay for someone else to watch their baby doesn't really make sense. I truly believe we were sold a dream that building a career is more valuable than being at home with our kids. In today's video, I'm walking you through what we changed to make it work on one income. It's not always pretty, but we've chosen this path because we deeply believe in me being present during my son's formative years. And I'll also be, of course, doing some homemaking while we chat, because that's what we do here. I wanted to start with a bit of a disclaimer. Of course, I acknowledge that everyone's situation is different. Where you live, your husband's income, your debt, all of that plays a role. These tips might not be a one-size-fits-all solution, but I hope they help you find areas in your budget where you can cut back, pay off debt, and then in turn, maybe make being a stay-at-home a reality. I also wanted to give just a quick background on myself. If you don't really care about me and you just want to get straight to the tips, totally understand. I have timestamps below so you can skip ahead. But my name is Charlene. I'm a 25-year-old stay-at-home mom. I have a degree in political science, and I used to work as a tax consultant. I earned a solid income, and I had every intention of going back to work until I held my baby in my arms. Everything changed. This is a video I wish I had found while I was pregnant, something to help me prepare for this shift financially. My first tip is having a clear why. This might sound obvious. Duh, I want to be at home with my baby. But knowing exactly why you want to be a stay-at-home mom will help you stay focused when things get tough. For me, it was truly missing out on milestones and how my day would look. I imagined the daily routine, waking up early, getting myself and my baby ready, waiting for the sitter, rushing off to work, and barely making it home on time for dinner and bedtime. The thought left a pit in my stomach. That mental image alone became my why. You absolutely have to get on the same page with your spouse. You both need to be super committed and realize that this is not the time for frivolous spending. That means that you have to have the conversation about what sacrifices you are willing to make. I don't get my hair done or my nails done anymore. I do all of that at home. And maybe your husband skips out on new hunting or golf gear. Whatever it is, you have to agree and you have to stick to it. Next, you need to do a thorough, and I mean thorough, deep dive into your finances. Once I really looked at our spending, I was absolutely shocked at how much frivolous spending was going on. I mean, Amazon, Target, Walmart, just crazy. I also had subscriptions that I wasn't even using. I made cuts where I didn't even realize we were overspending. For example, we switched our homeowner's insurance and literally saved thousands of dollars a year. Don't just cut back on the obvious stuff like cable. Look at everything. Also, compare the true cost of working, childcare, gas, commute, meals out, all of those things that you will be saving by being at home. And maybe you'll realize, hey, like the amount that I'm actually taking home, is it really worth leaving my baby? And write a realistic budget from that. Do a trial run. If you can, try living on one income before officially making this switch. It'll show you where your budget needs a little bit of help, and it will also help you build the discipline it takes to live within your means. Pay off debt. I can't tell you, oh my God, how much easier this would be if we didn't have debt. It's something we're still working on, but it's much slower on one income. Debt will kill your budget. Having car payments, we have car payments, I'm not saying that we don't, but having car payments and random payments all over the place just eats at that income. It literally just eats it all away. So if you can, pay off your debt. Maybe during your trial run, you use the second income to knock out that debt for a few months, and that'll give you that flexibility to be at home with your baby. Alright, and as y'all can see, I was just doing some housework. At this point, I'm making lunch. I did go ahead and make some homemade flour tortillas. You guys can get that recipe on the blog. And we had some leftover Mississippi hot roast that I used. Not quite the right flavors, but it worked out fine. And I made my baby the same thing as well. just wanted to take a quick second and say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope this encourages you as you figure out what works best for your family. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. My next tip is going to seem pretty on brand for me, but meal plan and cook at home. So I have a blog post on my meal planning system. I really don't meal plan that often. I usually just focus on pantry staples. However, this can help you if you are someone that needs that structure. But having a meal plan, writing down a grocery list, shopping that grocery list is going to save you so much money. I also do have a blog post on and a video on how I spend less on groceries, if you want to check out some of those resources. And then just cook at home. It is so expensive to eat out, and that's something that I learned when I did that deep dive into our finances and how much I was spending on just eating out alone. Wow, does that add up so quickly. And if you are working outside of the home, you might be eating out for lunch as well, so consider bringing your lunch to work. That will save you some money. But food is an area that we can definitely cut back on significantly. And again, I know it's so expensive right now. I'm not saying that it's not. Like, everything's expensive. I will say that prices have started to come down in my area, which thank God. We were actually able to stay in our budget because we've had to increase it. But we've been able to go back down to our kind of original budget in the past few weeks. So that's been great. Lastly, consider freelance or remote work. I help my mom with her business. I run a blog and a YouTube channel that I'm actively working on monetizing. If you have a degree or specific skills, you can use sites like Upwork, Fiverr, or freelance remote jobs. Can be great places to make a little bit of extra income. For dinner, I made a whole roast chicken. This was so good. I got this herb butter from H-E-B. I'm from Texas, so we have H-E-B, but I bet you can get herb butters at like all grocery stores. Or you can also make the herb butter yourself. And I put it underneath the skin and all over, and then I just used some Tony's to season it simply. And I roasted it at 425 for I think like an hour and a half. It was so good. The skin was so crispy. The meat was juicy and flavorful. I usually try to brine my chicken, but I just totally forgot, and this was a perfect alternative. I also made some mashed potatoes and roasted broccoli to go along with this dinner. If you're watching this and feeling overwhelmed or unsure if staying at home is possible for your family, you're not alone. I've been there too, staring at numbers, wondering if we could actually make it work. But I want to remind you, your presence matters. Being there during your baby's early years, reading the same book 10 times, wiping that sweet little face, folding the laundry, it all makes it worth it. Even on months where you might have to dip into savings, I just think about how I get to rock him to sleep for every single nap, and how I've been here for every single milestone, from rolling to pulling to stand to crawling, all so worth it. If your heart is pulled towards being at home, start where you are, tweak your budget, have honest conversations with your spouse, and pray. I cannot tell you how much I believe in the power of prayer. It may take time, but small steps add up. Choosing to stay at home isn't always easy, and it's definitely not a glamorous day-to-day, but it's deeply meaningful. If it's something that your heart is leaning towards, I hope these tips give you a starting point and some encouragement that it is possible with the right mindset, communication, and planning. If this video was helpful for you, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to let YouTube know that I make good content. And for more practical tips on motherhood, home life, budgeting on one income, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you're working towards staying at home or you're doing it already, let me know in the comments what helped you make it work. I think we can all help each other. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful rest of your day.